this fake case was brought only to interfere with the upcoming 2024 election, and it should be dropped immediately.
That's former President Donald Trump addressing supporters in Florida last night following his arrest in New York. New video shows Trump waving to people on his way back to Mar-a-Lago after his arraignment yesterday. Trump is now the first American president ever to face criminal charges. Thanks for being here at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Irampour. Trump is now charged with 34 felony counts. He's accused of falsifying business records. Trump is pleading not guilty. The Manhattan DA's 16-page indictment alleges Trump concealed hush money payments to 3 individuals, threatening to reveal negative information about him during the 2016 election. Now, they include adult film star Stormy Daniels, former Playboy playmate Karen McDougal, and a Trump Tower doorman.
These are felony crimes in New York State, no matter who you are. We cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct.
Well, now Trump has not been barred from discussing this case, but was warned by the judge not to make statements that could incite violence. Last night, the former president called him a, quote, Trump-hating judge. Trump has denied any wrongdoing in the case. His lawyers say they'll file a motion to dismiss those charges. The next hearing is on December 4th. And here locally, we have a major update for you this morning. All of you in North County who've been dealing with all of this. Yeah, some changes coming. The 2 lanes of westbound State Route 78 from College to El Camino Real are expected to reopen finally today.
Yeah, this has been a big headache for a lot of you. This portion of the busy highway has been closed for nearly a month now due to a sinkhole. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol is live along the 78 now to explain what's going to be happening next out there. Dana Marie?
Well, good morning, Eric and Ed. I can tell you that crews are working, putting the final touches on those westbound lanes. I'm going to just step out of the way so our photographer can show you how beautiful those paved roads are right down the hill. Now, when we were here 2 weeks ago, it was a much different scene. All of this construction due to a sinkhole underneath the freeway caused by failed culvert pipes. Now, those pipes are very, very old. They were created in the 60s, Caltrans told us. So it's important to note that the switching out will hopefully give this freeway a little bit more of longevity. Now, in terms of what's next, unfortunately, eastbound lanes are now going to be closed when westbound lanes open. Those westbound lanes between College Boulevard and El Camino Real are going to open up hopefully very, very soon. Now, crews are just putting the finishing touches onto the freeway, just putting those barriers there. Because of those aged culverts following a series of atmospheric rivers and water, it really drenched the region this January, February, and March, and that's why it has taken crews so long to get these repairs done. If you're a driver in North County, you're probably thinking, thank goodness these westbound lanes are finally open, but again, eastbound lanes will now be closed to do the repairs on their side. Now, in terms of an update, Caltrans is actually going to be giving us a press conference today at 8:30. Of course, we're going to be giving you the latest. Hopefully we get a better idea of a project as a whole when those eastbound lanes will finally be open and those drivers here in North County can have a smooth commute without any type of detours. I'm Dana Marie McNichol coming to you live from Oceanside.
I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I mean, our fight is finally over.
New this morning, cruising in National City is allowed again. The council voted to repeal a 30-year no cruising ordinance last night. The effort to lift the ban struggled for years. The National City law was put in place back in the 90s after concerns of crime and traffic congestion from cruising. The city is now allowing cruising on Highland Avenue. The larger cruise events weren't discussed yesterday. A second hearing is scheduled on April 18th.
You all right?
Wow, that's video of a distracted driving crash. This happened in Maine, and this morning AAA reminding you how important it is not to text and drive.
So they're launching a campaign here for Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and CBS 8's Chris Groh live in Mission Valley to show us some of the dangers and some of these great reminders all of us drivers need to hear here.
Right.
And it is, and it's also kind of, again, showing you what the impact, what the consequences of distracted driving can be. Just about a half hour ago, we showed you the physical toll that obviously this can take on your vehicle. Thankfully, that driver survived, luckily, but not in every instance does someone survive, either if they're pedestrians, if they're in the other car. And we actually have a memorial here. Doug joining us here from AAA. And so we have several people here who were killed in distracted driving incidents, correct?
These are 9 chairs, and each chair has the face of someone who was killed by a distracted driver. And also the significance of the 9 is every day in America, 9 people are killed as a result of distracted driving. But most experts agree that the numbers are likely much higher because distraction is often underreported in these crashes.
It's something else you pointed out is that the trend is showing that the numbers are going in the wrong way.
You're right. I mean, unfortunately, we are moving in the wrong direction. According to the latest data from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, released just this week, distracted driving crashes increased 12% from 2020 to 2021. So in 2021, 3,522 people died in distracted driving crashes.
And we want to show you some video now. AAA actually went out to go see for themselves around Southern California. You can tell us a little bit about kind of the surveying that AAA did to see how many people may be on their phones while driving.
We did. We wanted to see just how prevalent it is. You know, I know that I see it so frequently on my daily commutes, but we wanted to get a good look at it. So we drove during a 2-day period around Southern California freeways. We captured hundreds and hundreds of people using their smartphone, texting or calling, even though it is illegal to hold that phone in your hand while driving. And oftentimes these drivers were going at freeway speeds and looking down at their phone for up to 5 seconds at a time.
Yeah. And again, as we know from several displays and things like that, that can totally stop your reaction time, completely minimize it, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're driving at 55 miles per hour, taking your eyes off the road for 5 seconds is like traveling the length of a football field blindfolded. And you can only imagine what could come in the path of your car in the length of a football field.
Yeah. All right. Well, Doug, thank you so much for everything this morning and bringing awareness to this. And Eric, look, as Doug pointed out, those are people that they observed doing anything on their phone that they shouldn't be doing.
Right.
That didn't get into crashes, thankfully.
Yeah.
Didn't somehow end up in a much worse situation. So that probably leads people to believe that they can keep doing it, but then you have these reminders here that this can end badly, horribly for a lot of parties involved.
I think throwing it in the glove compartment, that center console, shutting the lid and just keeping it out of sight, out of mind, is not only the best for you, but for the public, pedestrians and everything else, can help you avoid a bad situation, that's for sure. Chris, thanks for that powerful showing there. The 9 chairs, the 9 deaths, a reminder that we have 9 deaths a day from distracted driving. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, we were just talking about how it's hard for people to maybe just sit and be, but that's so important, right? At stoplights, you don't need to reach for your phone, try to grab that, because obviously it's okay to just wait, pause, enjoy the view outside for a moment, and then of course continue on driving safely. Here's a look right now. This almost looked like the moon, the sun, but it's the moon. You see it starting to set, so that view at Cardiff, it's shining over the ocean. I love that glow that it has on the water, and this is from Mount Laguna, as you see. So it's going bye-bye very slowly, but sunrise will be at 6:32. Once we get an hour or so of that sun, it'll help kind of alleviate us from the cool that we're feeling right now. This frost advisory expiring at 8 this morning. Temperatures in some spots, low-lying, wind-sheltered areas are below freezing, and that's where that frost could form. It's not a windy morning like it was yesterday, but it is fairly cool in places like Ramona, 33, 30 degrees. You're below freezing in Mount Laguna. You're right there at freezing in Campo, 42 in Jamul, downtown San Diego now 46. So right now, the next 30 minutes or so, this is our coldest moment of the day. And you'll notice compared to yesterday, some of us are cooler, as you see, anywhere from 1 to 5 degrees cooler. The desert's up to 7 degrees cooler this morning, partly because it is a little bit drier too. So the drier air contributes to bigger swings from lows to highs. Here's your afternoon high today, 62 in Imperial Beach, 66 in Chula Vista, low 70s finally for you in El Cajon and in Santee. Enjoy the sunshine. We're going to get a lot of that today. A degree or two warmer than yesterday. Tomorrow also will go up a little bit. And then on Friday, we drop ever so slightly. Your surf forecast, 2 to 4 foot waves. And because tonight we have the full moon peaking, this pink moon as it's called, you'll notice bigger high tide. So at 9:30, 4.6 feet. Look how low your low tide gets, around 3:30, down to 0.2 feet. Here's a check of traffic. And for some reason, in the past, I would say 10 minutes, quite a few crashes that we need to get you caught up on. Here's one right there on the 15 at Rancho Bernardo Road. And that will likely slow some of you down as people are watching, looking at that one. And then another one here on Kearney Villa Road at Balboa Avenue. You see that crash right there. I don't see backups due to this, but likely here on the 54 and the 125, 2 crashes pretty close to each other. So the one on the top you see there, left-hand shoulder is blocked, right-hand shoulder blocked because of a crash. Debris on the road. That's at 125 northbound in Hamishaw. And then the 2 lanes are blocked on the 54 eastbound at Briarwood. Eric?